SDL Trados Studio 2019 features new innovations to transform how new users get up and running and ensure new levels of productivity for the whole translation team and unrivaled quality in your translations. In this video, I will show you how to use the new features. Firstly, Studio 2019 includes a brand new learning experience which guides you through the basic features of Studio and helps you to get started quickly. This includes videos and tips and tricks. To access these, click on the tab to open the Useful Tips area. These tips will also always be accessible by going to the Help tab in the ribbon and clicking on Useful Tips Collection. Here you will be able to access all of the useful tips available to you, organised into groups. Studio 2019 also introduces Tell Me, which allows you to type in a word or phrase and Studio will suggest commands, settings and options that you might want to access. Let's type in translation memory and see what comes up. So you can see that Studio has suggested a number of commands, options and settings, and I can easily find the one I want and click on it to be taken straight to the right place. I want to go to the search settings for my translation memory, so I'll just click on this option here, and it takes me straight to the right page in the project settings. So using Tell Me, you can easily and quickly get to where you want to go in Studio without having to search through menus and settings, saving you time. The next feature I want to show you is the new Project Wizard. You can access the Project Wizard by dragging files onto the Welcome screen or going to the Projects view and clicking New Project, but I'm going to use Tell Me to access it. So let's type New Project in and click on the command that comes up. And here is the brand new redesigned Project Wizard. It has been designed to make project creation easier, faster, and more flexible. Settings have been reorganized so that you have everything you need to create a project in one easy step, as long as you have a project template. If I name the project, specify where I want to save it, and select my files and template, the Finish button turns green and I can already finish the project creation without having to go through any further steps. Then I can click Close and my project has been created quickly and easily. If your project is more complex, the new Metro map at the top shows you which settings you still have to configure. You can click on the Metro map stations to navigate to a particular step, or click Next to go through each step. In addition to flexible project creation, Studio 2019 makes it easier to maintain projects that have already been created. It is quite common that you might need to add a new file into an already existing project, and this is now simple. Open your project and all you have to do is right-click and select Add Files. I'm going to select Quick Add Files, which runs the same task sequence as I ran when originally creating the project. You then select the file you need to add to the project, and as you can see, Studio does all of the processing, and now the file is added. If you want the option to select and run a different batch task sequence, you can click Add Files and run Custom Batch Task instead of Quick Add Files. You might also need to update a particular file to a more recent version. This is also now easy with Studio 2019. You simply select the file you wish to update, right-click, select Update File, and select the new file. Again, Studio does all of the processing in the background. Using Perfect Match, Studio will compare the two versions of the file and update the SDL XLIF whilst preserving any translation that has already been done. To increase the control over quality checks, Studio 2019 introduces language-specific QA check settings. To configure these, click on Project Settings. You can see the verification option in the menu. These settings can still be configured at the project level, but you now also have the flexibility to set them for individual language pairs. To do this, click the arrow next to Language Pairs. Let's configure the settings for English into Spanish. Click on the arrow next to the language pair you want to select, the arrow next to Verification, and then the arrow next to QA Checker 3. Here I am going to select the box for Check for Spanish Punctuation, as we only need the QA checker to check for this in the Spanish translation, and it is irrelevant for the other languages in the project. As well as this extra control when configuring QA check settings, you also have more control and visibility in the QA check report. To run a report, when you have a file open in the translation editor, click on Batch Tasks and then Verify Files. The report now shows the source and target segments for each error, so you can easily see the context and why there is an error. You can then click on 1 to be taken to the segment in question and correct the error straight away. Studio 2019 also brings enhanced navigation in the Translation Memories editor. Let's open a translation memory. You can now view up to 1,000 translation units per page, rather than the previous limit of 200. You can also navigate to a specific page by typing the page number in here. I want to go to page 5. Click here and we are taken straight to page 5. You can also go directly to the last page of the translation memory. So it's now quicker and easier to manage your translation memories and keep them updated. When editing your translation memory, you also have the option to clear the search at the same time as committing the changes. I want to replace location with place in all of my target segments. Click on Replace in the ribbon and enter the details. Then click Replace, then Replace All. When I commit the changes, if I have a large translation memory, I don't want Studio to perform the search for location again, as this could be quite time-consuming or not even possible if the term no longer exists in the TM. So I'm going to select Commit Changes and Clear Search, which clears the search, allowing me to move on to my next edits straight away.